Alright, hello everyone. So, as I'm showing you right here, I've got all these different concepts for all the current legends in the game by allowing them to have new passives and also a weapon passive for a specific weapon in the game to have them fully kitted and everything. However, I wanted to make some new legends as well with new abilities. And the whole reason behind this is that there's quite a lot of leaked legends in the game, like Ballistic. So Ballistic is the first one that I made a concept for, and the abilities are basically the exact same as what they were leaked. So his favorite weapon is the R301. You get a fully kitted R301 with an ammo reserve boost upon successive shots. Basically what that means is when you hit, shots, you get that ammo back in your reserve, which is pretty good. Then you have the passive of Weapon Sling, which allows you to store a third weapon in your weapon sling. Then you have a speed loader, which you reload and switch weapons significantly faster. And then tactical smart bullet, shoot a projectile that debuffs the enemy, causing their weapon to overheat. And then ultimate weapon enhancer, when activated, nearby teammates get weapon buffs. So of course overall I'm pretty sure this is going to be the next character, and I'm fairly certain they're going to be an assault class as well. So hopefully, this character comes next season, and we don't get another, no character season. Then we'll have Gorge, or Gauge, or however you pronounce it. And basically this character was kind of teased by Apex himself on a Twitter post, just out of the blue. So made some little concepts for them because they were shown having daggers or knives or swords in the concept. So the first passive is Knife Bundle. Drop a bundle of throwing knives when you initially land. We actually have the throwing knife in the game right now, so thought would introduce that. Then bayonet. Attach a bayonet to your weapon that allows for faster and long distance melees. And then tactical sword show, throw knives at opponents to damage them. And I believe you probably have about, 6 charges or something, and the charge will come back pretty fast as well. So it can actually be a pretty good third weapon if you kind of think about it. Then ultimate barrage. Throw knives in all directions while having infinite swords temporarily. So of course the ultimate would be pretty cool to see because we don't really have an ability that kind of acts as a thing that protrudes outwards from the character. That's an assault ability, and I feel like the only get out of jail card ability that we have in the game is Wraith's Tactical, and I would really like to see some ability like that, but for the assault class. So you have some ability like this that allows you to get out of a lot of situations. And of course, I love the tactical because I just love the fact that you can just have another weapon that you can use as well. Then we have Reckoner, so another assault legend, and this character is one that was leaked a while ago, but I believe has never been cancelled in development. So could possibly come in the future. So here we go. We'll have the first passive, which is Shield Blast. Damaged enemy shields emit a blast that stuns all enemies in its range. Then we'll have Rebound. Pick up and throw back thrown ordnances. So basically, if there's a grenade on the ground, you can pick it up and then you can throw it back at the enemy if you want. Or just throw it somewhere else. And then we'll have C4. Place a C4 on structures. Press again to detonate when notified of enemies near it. Now, I think it's about time that we do actually get some form of C4 ability, maybe as part of a controller class legend, possibly, but I think it mostly fits an assault class legend. Just because it's in every single other game, basically, and it actually isn't in our game right now, so... Now, also, just to, prepare you guys as well, every single legend has a backstory as well, so if you want to know some of the backstory about these characters, possibly, then, possibly look at all that stuff as well. Now this character also has an ultimate of the GM device. Place a device that redirects enemy fire and abilities back. So, pretty OP ability, honestly. I think that is the whole point of these abilities is they are really OP sounding. So that, you can adapt and, move around them a little bit, possibly nerf them quite a bit as well. Because I think people overall enjoy OP abilities over not so OP abilities, so you'll probably see quite a lot of them. Then we have our first skirmisher legend. So this is Fade. I'm not really going to go into too much detail because this character is already on the mobile version and I basically just copied everything over. So the first one, the passive, is Slipstream. Gain a short movement boost at the end of your slide. Then Squad Adrenaline. When nearby teammates, everyone gains a temporal speed boost, which is kind of like Rhapsody's tactical, which I'm fairly certain Rhapsody's not going to come over to the game to be honest. So may as well combine the two legends. Then Tactical Flashback, go back to where you were a few seconds ago. And then Ultimate Phase Chamber, release a phase cage to send everyone in its range to the void, which is a really cool ability, honestly. You can use it on yourself, of course, so like, you know, as like a little bit of a wraith tactical, but then you can also use it on the enemies so that you can see them, and they can't obviously shoot you. And I think it's a really, really fun ability, and hopefully it comes to the game in the form of Fade. I think it's a really cool character, and hopefully they add him. I really hope. And now I have 𝗬𝗎. So this character actually has a special weapon that they use. And that's obviously because we don't have enough weapons in the game to give every single character a weapon. I'm assuming at this point, though, we would. So I made a new one, which is the Nanobolt Railgun Sniper. We don't have a railgun in this game. We don't have many hit scan weapons in the game. And so I just made a new one. And hopefully you guys can, you know, possibly make a concept about this. But then we also have the passive of Slow Fall. So fall slower whilst airborne. Then Wall Run, brushing against walls, initiates a temporal wall run. Then Tactical Forward Dash, so dash forward in the direction you were looking at. You have mobile charges of this as well, by the way, and it comes back pretty quickly, I would assume. So it would be pretty cool, like close range movement tool. Then Ultimate Propel Core, throw an impulsing device that once activated, launches players away from it. So it's going to be a tool to, like, you know, push enemies away whilst also launching you away from them. So a little bit of a movement tool. So basically every single one of these abilities is a movement tool. So this will be like a pretty good movement character. And now we have 𝗬𝗏, a recon character that I made. So the first ability is the passive Spectator. Spectate your killer, disabling their GUI features temporarily. So we had a recent limited time mode where some of the features on the GUI were like disabled. And I was wondering why the hell they've done that, and it could possibly be a future ability. And I would like it to be for this character, or some recon character in the future. I think it makes a lot of sense, because you're blocking the enemy's view. So, you know, now, also, this whole character is all about spectating the enemy to see their vision. Rather than just, like, highlighting them, you're actually seeing what they see, if you know what I mean. So the second ability is Sound Enhancement. Hear footsteps louder and get visualization of enemy movements. This is actually Rhapsody's passive from Apex Legends Mobile, and thought it really fit this character, so I added that. Out of all the characters, I think this might be my favourite one, mainly because it takes the whole recon, like, scan class, and they put it to like a different level, like how Vantage. Personally, I don't really find out too much of a recon character, which they could possibly rework. But, like, this character is very much a recon character, but it doesn't involve many scans, if you know what I mean. So then we have Opticon. Deploy a parasite trap that reveals the target's vision. So that's how you can actually see, you know, the person's vision is using this ability. And if it, you know, detects someone, then you can obviously bring up their vision in the corner of your screen. Then we have the ultimate Thermal Vision. So this is the only real scan ability that I've added here. Reveal all enemies for an extended period and yourself to the enemies temporarily. So basically what that means is you reveal all the enemies on the map. And I know that sounds really OP, but we already have an ability like that. So I would say about maybe 10 seconds or so, you reveal everyone. But then you also reveal yourself to everyone as well. So very similar to like Lifeline's care pack, where it's like a massive beacon, basically telling everyone, oh, I'm here. It kind of works like that. You know, it has a beacon of some sort, and then everyone can like look over and see, oh, well, there's a person over there. But you also get the information of everyone else. So I think it's a nice little trade-off. Then we have Uplink, which also has a very unique weapon, and that is the Fanatic Burst Pistol. Fairly certain this will be the next weapon in the game. Fairly certain, in fact, because we'll have like 3 pistols, and I think there are some leaks popping up here and there, so I added that for this character. So then we'll have the passive, so Network, shoot a beam that revives and heals teammates' shields using your shield meter. Now, how do you add to that shield meter? That is with the other passive, Life Steal. Shoot a beam that damages enemy shields and charges your shield meter. So you can damage enemies, it charges your shield, and then you can use another beam to revive or heal teammates using the shield meter. Obviously, revives will, you know, be about 100, because that's how much it takes to like get all the people's health back normally. So I think that's probably, you know, how that would work. But yeah, pretty unique stuff here. People obviously compare these abilities to like things like a siphon ability, and this is exactly what this is. If there ever was to be like a siphon character, then they would ultimately just go in the support class. I think it'll be a perfect addition of some sort of character like this. This is probably like coming like second favorite right now. And then we'll have the tactical, so divide satellite. Share healing effects with teammates in the device range. So we actually had a event recently, the Valentine's mode, where if you used a battery or whatever, and your teammate is like close by, your teammate also receives the same effects as that battery. So pretty cool tactical. Of course, the ability will have like a timer on it, so it only lasts like, I don't know, like 30 seconds or so. And so you would have to use the ability within that time. You would have to use your heal item within that time, so that would actually do something. So that's a little bit of like a balancing thing right there, because having that ability constantly throughout the entire game, I think, will be a bit too OP. But something that is very OP is the Immortality Relay Beacon. So the ultimate, deploy a beacon that prevents your team from being fully killed temporarily. In the game, or at least the leaks, I guess, it was basically worded very differently. It was basically like, oh, you literally cannot die. However, this one is like, you can't be fully killed. So if someone tries to kill you when you've got your knockdown shield up, they will not be able to kill you for a short amount of time. If you kill every single person in the team, of course everyone will die. So a nice little like supportive ability there. And now we have a control legend. This is probably one of the hardest ones to actually do, to be honest. So Phantom. So this is like Big Sister, but renamed to Phantom. So here we go. So the passive, rewire, turn any ordnance into a proximity mine that sticks to surfaces. Pretty cool. And then we'll have Mimic, steal sight-seeked enemy tactical abilities temporarily. So you can essentially look at an enemy for an extended amount of time, I would say about 3 seconds, and then steal their tactical if you want to, and then use it. Now, of course, when you do use the tactical, you get the same cooldown as what that tactical is. And so, if you get like Lifeline's tactical and you use the ability, it would be like a 40-second, cooldown. So it's kind of balanced in that way. Now, don't worry, it is just the tactical. You don't get any of the passives, none of the ultimates, nothing like that. So it's not like too OP. It's just a very temporal, swap of abilities essentially. So pretty unique thing there. And then we also have the tactical sentry turret deploys sentry guns to survey the area and shoot at approaching enemies. Now, this isn't actually a scan tool, but in actually playing the game and having this ability, it could be kind of used as that in a way. Because if you set like a sentry turret and you have it in a position where a lot of people might be going past, it'll just randomly shoot at people, and so you'll know that people are there, and so it'll be a pretty useful tool in that regard. But also, it's mainly going to be used obviously to like camp buildings, things like that. And I'm fairly certain you could probably put like 2 down. I'd say about 2 sentry turrets down. They won't do an insane amount of damage. It's mainly going to just be for like suppressing fire from different angles, and of course they can be destroyed. And then we have the ultimate, which is Spectre Drop. Call the drop pod with 3 Spectres to guard an area. Now, if you guys don't know what a Spectre is, them are the things in the Storm Point like IMC armories that drop down, the little robot things that try to kill you. So essentially you will call down a little drop pod, and it'll hit the ground, and then 3 Spectres will come out of it, and they'll just start shooting the enemies. And I think we really need some character that has some form of like AI as an ability. I think it'd be pretty cool, and of course, this is an example right here. Let me know what you guys think about all these abilities, and yeah, I'll take any feedback you have, and I'll see you guys next video.